Yo. Don't know how to add a title. Never mind. So I want to just jump on real quick today to talk to you about the fact that I don't think we, potentially women, but also maybe men also, who knows? I don't know. I'm not one, so I'm just guessing here. I feel like we've forgotten how to really feel full. Yo, Claire, sup, my fellow fire babe. So what I've been noticing over the last week and a half, I've taken a lot of time out of my business. I've taken a lot of time out of posting on social media and being available to others. And I did this with a view to really working on something that I knew I had to work on, which is allowing myself, and I used to hate this word, so I'm going to say it with a stupid voice because that's how I roll. Hey Grace, hey Karen. So the way that I say this word is very telling about how I feel about this word. But I've been playing with it over the last week and a half, and I've fallen in love with it, and I think it might actually be my theme for this year. So the word that I'm talking about is the word nourishment. So for me, when I think about the word nourishment or nourishing, I tend to think about a kind of yin yoga instructor who's all like all the woo and no real groundedness in actual life. G'day, Jackie love, Georgenius. It is I. G'day. It's my terrible Kath and Kim accent for you there. It's my like generic Australian, but comes out really bogan. Sorry about that. How's that clear going? I know, Claire. I know. It's your fucking fault. So I really went deep into journeying with this word nourishment and what it means to be nourishing, because I know when I find a word or a concept as triggering as I find the word nourishing, to provide nourishment to oneself, there's definitely something there for me. So I allowed myself to just really go into it. What I have realized as a result is that, I'll speak from personal experience, I am really good at luxurious self-care every now and then. And when I do it, it tends to be like I'll go for a spa day, or I'll make a point of like, this is the time where I'm going to go and do that thing. Over the last 10 days, I've been bringing it into my life on a daily basis. So whether that's like looking at the foods that I'm eating, the way that I'm speaking to myself has been a real big one. I've noticed how many times I give myself real shit for nothing, like just absolute give myself hell internally. And I'm like, wow, if I had a coach and they spoke to me like this, I'd be like, fuck you, bitch. So it's really shown me all the areas in my life that, yeah, I'm sure there's probably other places, but it showed me a lot of areas in my life where I haven't really allowed myself to feel full. And what I mean by that is, do you ever find, so I'm someone who has had a very interesting relationship with food, for example. So there are times when I'm really great at being able to be mindful about what I'm eating, be very present with my body when I'm eating. And then there are other times when it's more like kind of I'll binge, or I feel really shit about what I've eaten and I'll feel like I have to like pay the debt at the gym and like smash it out the next day in order to kind of earn or like punish myself and all of that crazy shit that I've journeyed in the past. And what I've noticed this week as I've been more present with this idea of nourishing and allowing myself to actually feel full is that in a practical sense, with food, for example, when I actually allow myself to feel the food in my body and be like, oh, I feel full, and get comfortable with that feeling, rather than just kind of shoveling food into my face because I feel like that I just need to keep going, there's not enough, right? There's never enough. Now, this will translate not just into food, but it will translate into how you treat your body when you exercise. Like, it's never enough, got to do more. It will translate into how you are in relationships. It will translate into how you are with money, right? So if you aren't appreciative of what you have right now and what you are consuming and absorbing right now into your system, whatever that is, whether it's content on the internet, food, your friendships and the people that you spend time with, maybe it's like the books you're reading or the TV that you're watching. For example, I've noticed that if I watch like really heavy shit, I have fucked up dreams and it throws my energy off whack. Like I'm so sensitive to shit these days. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like I'm very aware of my surroundings. I am very good now at making sure that if I am watching something and it's triggering like a fight or flight response in my body, I just stop watching it. And then I go and watch some like Modern Family or Parks and Recreation or something that's going to make me laugh, right? Always wanting more and more. Good topic. Great. I'm glad this is resonating with you chaps. Oh, hey, the tiny coach Grace. How you doing, girl? So when we actually allow ourselves to drop into feeling full. Now, also, I'm a manifesting generator in human design, which means that, you know, there's like a lot of things happening a lot of the time. And so we're very good when we are a generator or manifesting generator. We're very good at like go, 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 do, because it actually feels very good to us to do what we love. The problem happens for me personally when I don't actually allow myself to sit with the win or the thing that I've just done. And this also happens for me in training. Like I'll do all the training and I'll be like, blah, 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 like smashing out and then like going for a run and doing the things. And then I'd be like, why aren't I getting the results that I should be for the amount of work that I'm putting in? And when I actually look at it, it's like, have I allowed myself to rest? Have I allowed myself to actually like, you know, receive the nourishment, receive the changes and the shifts that my body has gifted me through the working out? Or am I basically telling myself, and this is like if you take one thing away from this live stream, let it be this, because this has been the real like, aha, for me this week around playing with this idea of nourishment and feeling full and fulfillment. For example, I'm going to tell you an actual story because I feel like it lands a bit better. Okay, so here we go. As usual, transparent as fuck. So I was doing a live stream a couple of weeks ago and I just decided in that moment to launch a 2-day workshop to learn EFT for self-use, right? I decided there were going to be 8 spots and it was going to be £500 for the it's like 2 half days with integration time and then 2 weeks follow-up support in Telegram. And I decided I was just going to launch it. I did that. Within 10 hours, I had 5 people booked, paid up, done. And yet it still wasn't enough. Still wasn't enough. That's pretty fucking good, right? To just launch something like, poof, this is what I feel inspired to do. Bam, let's go. Bam, bam, bam. 5 people signed up within 10 hours. 1 whilst I was asleep, you know, like, oh, look, someone signed up for my workshop. Amazing. And all I did was post about it in my Facebook group and on Instagram like once. And I sold 5 places, 10 hours, 5 places. That's really fucking good, you know? But in my mind, I'm like, oh, why doesn't this happen with my more expensive offerings? Why doesn't this happen when it's my coaching offering? Why doesn't it? So just like, let's break this down. Effectively, what the universe has done is gone, oh, cool, look, you're responding in the way that you're meant to because you're sacral and you're a Mani Gen and that's how life works for you. Woohoo! Here comes a flood of sales. And then I go, yeah, but it's not fucking enough. Can you imagine how that would feel if it was happening to you? And when I think about this, I always think about myself as like a little kid, like, oh, you know, imagine being this little inner child, like, da, 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 going through life, doing all the things, feeling really great, and like giving and giving and giving and just loving it and being like, yeah, I want to give all the time. And then the person that you're giving to just goes, whatever, it's not enough. I need more. Be like, oh. So, of course, this little freeze activates in my body. Are you like, is this resonating with you guys? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because what I realised from this is that it like trips a switch in my body. It's not enough. And so there's no appreciation of what's actually happened. There's no real embodiment of the gratitude of the receiving of what I've had. So it's the equivalent of like shoveling in a load of food and then being like, okay, now I need more. Well, did you actually stop, bitch, and like take a moment and be grateful for what came to you? Because I wasn't being grateful. I wasn't fully receiving what had been given to me by the universe. And so It stopped, my energy went, I fizzled, I flamed out, and this happens to me a lot. This is a cycle that I've seen on repeat throughout my entire life, and it's been really highlighted during my time as an entrepreneur. So I guess my advice to you is, when something good happens, please, for fuck's sake, take a moment and actually drink it in, breathe it in, and feel it. But feel it in your stomach, feel it in your belly. Because this is where we receive nourishment, in the stomach. That's where your food goes, and that's where the first real step of all that juiciness of receiving and getting nourishment from the food happens. And the same is true of life. So allow yourself to really drop into that, because if we don't, we get needy, we get greedy, and not in the kind of, I don't really have any triggers around greed. For me is just a word and a concept. I don't really have any triggers around it. But what I mean by that is just that constant need for more that is rooted in a place of scarcity and there's not enough to go around. So when you see that showing up and you're not being able to be appreciative and grateful in that moment for what you are receiving, this doesn't mean that you have to stop desiring more. It just means, oh, that's amazing. And now what? And now what do I get to have? Rather than, oh, great, so I've got this, but where's the next bit going to come from? Or, well, that's not enough. That didn't sell out. It's a very different energy. And that's what it's all about, as we know. So I just want to do a real quick little round of tapping with everybody, because I feel like this is something that is really going to help if you allow yourself to receive nourishment from your life. Am I right? So if you've not tapped with me before, the points we use are the side of the hand, top of the head, inner eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, here, just under the chin, that little dip, under the, in the little dip there underneath the collarbone. You can do one side, both sides, doesn't matter. Same with these points. Under the arm, where your bra would sit, and then I do the wrists. Sometimes, if you're lucky, I'll do the fingertips, so you're going to go hi-ya, and do the side cuticle of each finger. Okay? I'm going to tap with you anyway, so let me know in the comments, give me some love hearts, show me something. Give me something. Hashtag needy coach. Give me some shit if you're going to join me and do this little bit of tapping around fully allowing yourself to receive nourishment. Okay, so you're just going to follow me with the tapping, then you're going to repeat after me what I'm saying. If any words come to you and you think, oh, actually, I want to swap these words in because it feels more relevant to me, feel free. I'm not precious. Oh, g'day. True. Hi, Jane. Oh, my God, we've got Jackie and Jane on. The full Barley crew are here. Let's go, babes. Okay, wicked. Let's just go ahead and start doing this tapping. So we're just going to start here and you're just going to repeat after me. And then afterwards, you get to let me know how glorious you feel. Okay, so just tapping here. Take a nice deep breath, drop into your belly. Even though I feel this contraction in my stomach, when I think about stopping long enough to receive nourishment. Because what if I sit still for too long? And I become lazy, invisible, or irrelevant. I'm okay and I accept myself anyway. Even though I get this tightness in my stomach when I think about sitting still for too long. And I know that I want more ease and flow in my life, but I resist it like a motherfucker. And I accept myself anyway. Even though I have some ideas around receiving nourishment from life. Maybe I turn my nose up at it and just think, ugh. I'm a hustler. I'm a go-getter. I'm a powerhouse. God damn it. I am okay and I accept myself anyway. The need to be powerful. The need to be abundant and financially successful. The need to continually be grinding and seeing more and more results. Because I know my potential is unlimited. I am limitless. And sometimes that freaks the shit out of me. So I need to feel like I've earned it. If things come too easily to me, I don't really feel it. So if I haven't felt the traction or the friction, if I haven't had a little bit of struggle on my way, how will I know that I've got there? How will I know that I really gave it everything I had? I undervalue the wins I get if I didn't have to try. But maybe I can start to recognize that when things do come easily to me, it's because the universe is showing me that it's this and so much more. So when I allow things to come to me with ease, when I allow myself to drop into the slipstream of my life and flow through it with joy and abandon, maybe I'll finally receive nourishment. Maybe I'll finally see that even when I feel like I'm sitting still, I'm actually being guided. I'm being carried. It is impossible for me to be completely stagnant and still. It's just my mind and my ego trying to get me to do more, to prove myself. I'm so fucking exhausted from trying to swim upstream. So maybe just for now, just for today, I can throw my hands in the air and surrender. Allow my inner child to play and guide the way. Embrace the flow of my life. Drop deep into my belly. And be so incredibly grateful for everything that I am receiving in this moment in between the breaths. Take a nice deep breath. Just let me know how you're doing in the comments. So I talk about this moment between the breaths quite a bit with my clients. And what I mean by that is even our breathing, which feels like it is relentless and continuous, there is a break. When we breathe in, there's a moment. And then we breathe out and there's a moment. And we breathe in and there's a moment. That moment between the breaths is, I think, really underrated. Because if we didn't have it, we'd literally just be going. So that that moment in between the breaths, that moment where our body is doing so many things. Our body is going fucking crazy inside. Chemicals are shifting, organs are moving, neurons are firing, and all we're doing is just being there, and it's all happening inside of us. I get goosebumps when I think about it. Our body is continually attempting to find a state of homeostasis. It's always trying to bring itself back into balance. And sometimes that's the same with like spiritual work and energy work, and also with exercise. If we keep doing the do all the time and we don't allow for that little moment in between the breath for things to recalibrate naturally, we might actually be doing a lot more work than we need to do and really not seeing the results that we want to see. So as much as I'm like a go get it, hustle, powerhouse, punch the things kind of gal, I also have like a 2-line in my in my chart, in my human design chart, right? I'm a 6-2, which means that I have the hermit energy. So what I've been doing over the last 10 days is effectively hermiting and getting to know myself again, checking back in with myself after all the processes, after all of the things that have happened in the last year, globally. There's a lot of pieces that have been moving, even though we've felt potentially like a lot of things haven't been moving and we've been very still and stagnant because we haven't been able to travel or do things in the way that we used to do. There's been a lot of pieces moving. And so for us to think that we can just stand back up and continue the way we were before all of this shit kicked off in the world would be a little naive. And I feel that really what I've noticed for myself is this deeper call to allow myself to be nourished, to allow myself to truly feel fulfilled and to move forward from that place. Because I really have no desire anymore to try and fucking prove myself and my worth and my work, and just in any area. I don't have to prove myself in the gym, in my business. You're welcome. A little shift there for you, for your nerve. I don't want to have to prove myself anywhere. And I used to think that that would mean I wouldn't try anymore and I just give up and be complacent. And actually, what it does mean, it doesn't mean that at all. It means that I come from everything from a much fuller place. You can probably even feel today in my energy. If you were to look back a week ago, I don't know, if you looked at like the last live stream or whatever that I did in my Facebook group versus this one, I imagine you would see that my energy feels different. I feel fuller, more grounded, more heart-centered, because I've allowed myself that time to come back to me. And I think I was so attached to this idea of how people perceive me, or what people used to reflect back to me about how they perceive me as being like this powerhouse and like so fiery. And I am still all of those things, but I can only be those things if I allow myself to come back to this deeper place of allowing myself to receive nourishment from everything that I've created thus far. I still don't really feel like, my mentor. I had a session yesterday with a lady who like reads frequencies and stuff. And I was talking to her, and I said, I still haven't fully embodied the fact that I've, had 2 6-figure years in my business. I haven't fully embodied the fact that I've managed to maintain a certain weight and aesthetic and level of fitness that I never thought would be possible for me. All of these things. The fact that I fucking wrote a book last year and became an international best-selling author. Like, what the fuck? I haven't fully owned that stuff because I never really gave myself time after each of those wins to allow it to like fully be in the cells of my body, and I celebrated it here, like woohoo, pop the champagne, let's go champ. But I didn't ever really allow myself to fully let those wins sink into my belly and fill the cells of my body and be like, wow, this is just who you are now. So that's my nugget for you today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm hoping that I get to save this live stream because I think it was valuable and people might enjoy to watch it again at some time. So let's see. I'm going to be going live tomorrow on, let me just tag the Awakening Festival because I feel like you guys might want to come and watch that. I can't seem to do that, never mind. So I'm going live on a page called the Awakening Festival. And go away, comments. Damn you. Never mind. I'll leave it where it is. Here we go. I'm going live on their page tomorrow, and I'm going to be talking about manifesting, probably some tapping, some emotional clearing, whatever pops up that needs to be moved, we'll do. And I'm going to be answering all your questions about, energetic alignment and in regard to manifesting all of the beautiful things that you desire in your life. Who doesn't want to know about that? Am I right? And you can obviously still sign up for my EFT workshop, which is the last weekend in March. It is 2 days with me, plus 2 weeks of group Telegram support so that you can really integrate. This is very much about self-use. It is not practitioner training. I'm going to be very much tailoring it to the people in the group. It's only going to be 8 people in there. I'm not allowing any more because I really want to be able to give you as much of my attention as possible. I want you all to leave that workshop feeling completely competent in how to use EFT on yourself for whatever issues arise in your life. So this is very much me in my zone of genius doing the teaching thing, showing you how to apply a modality to your life. I'm not really so interested in just being like, this is the science of EFT and this is the history of EFT and la la la. We won't really be going into that. We'll be just kind of going into what shit's showing up in your life. Great. This is how you would use EFT to heal that or to move through that or to align your energy with something better. So if that sounds like a, ooh, hello, then do reach out to me and let's have a chat about that. And I can send you links and all that good stuff. Thanks so much for joining me.